Good morning, my thirsty friend. Finally arrived at La Roquebrussane, which is our next stop to visit a winery which I don't know, but that has been recommended to me by many sommeliers. They are focused on organic and natural wine production. So right now I'm on the main place of La Roquebrussane, where I had a beautiful lunch right here. So now I'm ready for my next visit. So stay tuned. We are finally at Domaine desTerres. I just got one-to-one interview with the owner. I believe his name is Jean-Christophe. It's a very different atmosphere compared to Les Houbles. Well, I mean, Les Houbles, obviously, it's I don't want to say it's a multinational, but yes, it's something which is very square, very sleek, I would say. Here we're more talking about with a farmer, someone who doesn't follow necessarily, you know, the stereotype, you know, and it actually doesn't want to be filmed. He doesn't want his image to appear, you know, during the shooting, which I will do today. Okay, anyway, I will explain to you what this estate is special. But as we explained yesterday, Château Les Houbles and most of the winery in Provence, they produce mainly rosé wine. Okay, I mean 80% of the production is usually about rosé. Here Jean-Christophe was explaining that he likes to drink white wine, so he decided that he would produce more white wine, like Les Houbles, if I remember yesterday, they said it was somewhere around 5 to 7%. Here it's 40%, and 40% red. Meanwhile, Les Houbles was 15 or 13%, and 20% rosé. And he's producing 11 different wine. He also own property in Bandol. So today we will try. He has a meeting, and the funny thing, he doesn't even remember that I was supposed to come. So it's like a very interesting way to start with someone, you know, when you arrive and they don't know who you are. So yeah, it's very different impression, but it doesn't mean that the wine won't be very, very special. Look, I like Château Les Houbles wine for what they are, which means that they are very well made, because they kind of try to fit, you know, to the more wide, let's say, consumer, which are usually people also who want to identify themselves, you know, with a certain brand. And tonight, today is 21st of June, which is the first day of summer, and in France we are celebrating. It's like a music festival everywhere. So they have a band, with a 7-person band, and they will play Miles Davis tonight. There's an amphitheater somewhere. I will show you later. Et voilà, I'm getting into the cellar. So they are doing a rehearsal now. Was the place we did the testing today with some other guests from SAQ from Canada, and we had those wine for tasting. So first one, Ep02, which is a claret, rosé, and Carignan blanc, a very natural white wine, very easy drinking. Then we moved to Bouche Coteaux, which was Vermentino roll blended with claret, which was a bit more serious, with beautiful honey, white flower, and anise flavor. Beautiful, a bit more robust but very elegant. Then we got some first red wine. It was a surprise, 100% Carignan, and I like the description from Jean-Christophe, which he called a macho wine. Then we had his flagship wine, Antidote, which is more classic Grenache, Carignan, Syrah, Mourvèdre. Very elegant, I would say. Classic Côte de Provence style. Let me check. It's actually sold. Oh, okay. I apologize because this one, okay. Antidote was Carignan. That's because we start with this one, and then after we move to this one, which is sold as Coteaux Varois en Provence, and which is a blend Grenache, Carignan, Syrah, Mourvèdre. Then after we move to this special cuvée called Autrement et encore, which is Coteaux Varois as well. This one was 100% Cinsault. So I got a Cinsault recently, 100%, which was a bit lighter. So I could find the fruit, but the structure was definitely much heavier. And then two rosés. So appellation Coteaux Varois. I mean, this one he mentioned he was sold as Vin de France, and is actually a carbonic maceration of Carignan. That's why he stayed for 2 weeks in the tank. That's why you get a color, which is deeper. Very nice, very easy drinking, very natural, food forward. And this one, which is Grenache, Carignan, Cinsault. First, this one was a bit more rounder and soft. This one has a bit more definition, a bit more complexity, but the color is a bit more classic for like Côte de Provence style, but with more complexity, with again, this anise, a bit licorice, floral, grapefruit. So a bit more gastronomic style of rosé. Voilà. That was it. It's 7 o'clock. It's time for the jazz time. So this is the amphitheater entrance. Let's have a look and see how it looks. Seems like they like music in this winery. It's beautiful surrounding as usual. Bonsoir, voilà, je suis avec Jacques qui ce soir va nous offrir quelques-uns des meilleurs morceaux de Miles Davis. Donc ça c'est plutôt, on va dire, un passe-temps, une passion, la musique, mais...
Ouais, c'est une passion, mais que j'exerce en tant que hobby, parce que mon métier c'est vraiment le dessin.
D'accord.
Et la musique, je vois le niveau des jeunes qui sortent des conservatoires et autres, j'ose pas m'aligner, mais disons que dans un groupe où on est 6, le contrebassiste, comme il se doit être discret et efficace si possible, mais discret, donc j'essaie d'être discret.
D'accord, et donc votre métier, c'est le dessin?
C'est plutôt la bande dessinée.
La bande dessinée, d'accord.
Oui. Et d'ailleurs, j'avais commencé mon premier album en solo, parce que j'avais commencé avec un scénariste, les premières armes. Le premier album que j'ai fait en tant que scénario et dessin, ça s'appelait Arrière-Pays. Et Jean-Christophe, que je connais maintenant depuis quelques années, m'a proposé, comme toutes ces cuvées commencent par la lettre A, de faire une cuvée qui s'appelle Arrière-Pays, dont il m'a demandé de dessiner l'étiquette, ce que j'ai fait en plus du travail, disons,
D'accord. Donc là, on parle effectivement là de ces deux personnages, un homme, une femme, qui donc portent une grappe de raisin.
Porteur de grappe, oui.
Et la signification alors?
Alors ça, Jean-Christophe pourrait en parler plus longuement que moi, mais je pense que c'est lié au fait que ce domaine s'appelle les terres promises, et les porteurs de grappe, c'est une figure biblique, je crois, après le déluge, quand on a enfin pu recommencer la vie. Donc deux porteurs, on ne sait pas si c'était un homme, une femme, deux hommes, enfin en tout cas moi j'ai mis un peu de parité dans cette histoire. Mais c'est vrai que là, si ce soir on voit une contrebasse derrière, c'est parce que mon hobby, on y revient sur le jazz, c'est parce que je viens de publier une biographie de Miles Davis en bande dessinée, accompagné d'un disque vinyle qui est Kind of Blue, qui est ce disque mythique de Miles Davis. Et là, pour accompagner la sortie de ce disque, j'ai réuni des musiciens, très bons musiciens de la région, de toute la Côte d'Azur.
Vous avez enregistré ensemble
alors non, on n'a pas enregistré. Le disque, c'est vraiment le pressage initial de Miles Davis. Mais l'idée, c'était de faire la promo, si vous voulez, tout ça, en s'amusant en fait à rejouer les thèmes, en essayant de reprendre le même esprit, c'est-à-dire d'avoir les mêmes compositions de groupe, c'est-à-dire piano, contrebasse, batterie, sax ténor, sax alto et trompette, bien entendu. Et c'est ça qu'on va jouer ce soir en reprenant les thèmes de Kind of Blue. Et le groupe, je l'ai intitulé King of Blue, parce que c'était King of Blue, le roi du bleu, c'était Miles Davis.
Bien sûr.
C'est pour ça que j'ai demandé aux musiciens de mettre un peu de bleu.
Voilà, j'ai bien fait de m'habiller aussi tout en bleu.
Comme Jean-Christophe, vous êtes tout à fait dans la note
parfait.
Bleue, si on peut dire.
Bon, fantastique, merci pour toutes ces informations et je suis sûr qu'on va passer une très bonne soirée.
J'espère.